Hi everybody. So I've got some news that's, kind of annoying. Kind of fractured my wrist this morning. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this back in my sling. I fractured my wrist this morning. Like an absolute boss. Basically what happened was, hang on. Put you up a little bit. Okay, yeah, basically what happened was, well, I can't bother to tell you the story of how it happened, but basically it happened, but I didn't think it happened because it was very early this morning and I was still tired and I was late for school. So after I hit it, because I kind of tripped on the stair and then smacked it against the wall, and I was like, Christ almighty, that hurt. And the reason I slipped was not my own fault. It's because DJ was running and I was running behind him, and then he just decided to stop for no apparent reason, so I fell over him. And yeah, that's how it happened. So I was late for school, so I was kind of like, oh, I can't bother to deal with this. It only hurts a little bit, it'll be fine. It's just because I've just smacked it. I've probably just bruised it, or at worst sprained it. So I literally just threw a bandage on it because, it felt a bit floppy. Went to school, rocked up late, half an hour late. And then when I was in first lesson, which was drama, we were doing practical work and stuff because we were practicing this play that we're doing. So I was flinging my arms around, doing some moves, all this stuff. And then it started to swell, and I don't know if you can see, but you see this tan line? That's where my ring was. It was a very special ring. Dan bought it me for I think it's my birthday 2 years ago. So it's quite important. I've pretty much worn it every single day for 2 years. So it was on my finger, and so my fingers started swelling up. They're not as bad now, but I am talking when I was like this, they were still touching each other. They were 3 times the size they should have been. They were rather large. So I was like, I'm not gonna lie, Miss Harry, my fingers are rather sore and my arm hurts. So she obviously took one look at it and went, oh god, maybe you should go to the nurse. And I was like, oh yeah, it's probably just that my bandage is too tight, so circulation can't get to my fingers, so they've just swollen up, something like that. So I went to the nurse and walked in. She saw the bandage on my arm. First thing she said to me was, what have you done? So I went, I'm not sure. I was wondering if you could take a look at it. And she was like, well, do you think you've broken it? I was like, no. She was like, well, what makes you think you've not broken it? I was like, because I can still wiggle my fingers. She was like, that doesn't mean you've not broken it. I was like, oh, I thought that was the thing. And she was like, no, you still could have broken it. And I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. So I took my bandage off, and literally it was just purple. It was weird. It was just weird. And yeah, so she was like, I really think you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, I don't have the time. I'm too busy at school. She was like, well, who's at home? I was like, no one. Both my parents have gone on holiday. It's just my sister, but I don't know where my sister is. And she was like, oh, well, you definitely need to go. And I was like, well, okay, fine. So then went back to sixth form. I had literally no intention of going to the hospital because I couldn't be bothered. Bearing in mind that the closest hospital to me is probably a 10-minute walk from school. Anyway, so I got back to sixth form. I had a free period, so I was sat in the room where we sit in. It's called the pink room because it's pink. A few of my friends were there, so they were like, oh, so what did the nurse say? And I was like, she thinks I might have broken it, but I can't bother. And they were like, oh my god, you might have broken it, go to the hospital. And I was like, no, I can't be bothered. They're like, does it hurt? I was like, yeah, it's agonising pain. So yeah, I ended up going. My friend Maddie ended up coming with me because she had a free period next. It was actually quite quick and easy, to be honest. The only thing that took the longest was getting the queuing for an X-ray and stuff. That took about half an hour, which still is nothing compared. And then literally the entire time I was just kind of like, oh, it's just a sprain. Everyone's just overreacting. The only reason my fingers were swollen is because my bandage was too tight. I only hit it against the wall, blah, 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 all this. And then, so I went and sat down after I had my X-ray, and then she turned to me, she was looking at the computer screen, she was like, yeah, so you fractured it. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, well, we're not entirely sure, but from my professional opinion, that does look fractured. And I was like, well, where is it fractured? She was like, this bone here is she said it looked like it is split or something. And I was like, yummy. So she's like, let's put a cast on it. So we put a cast on it, and this is it so far. It's quite hard to bend my arm. Hang on. Yeah, I'm getting a new one tomorrow, and I only like saw a few people before I left because I've come home early, obviously. So that was Maddie who came with me, and that was my friend Yasmin. Not Yasmin who sings with me, a different Yasmin. So yeah, so I'm going back tomorrow to get it checked, have my new pot on, find out how long I have to have it on for. But also, you know, this means I can't play guitar for however long it's going to be, like 5-6 weeks. So I'm kind of depressed. And it's my right arm, which is the arm I do everything with. I am not a happy bunny, as you can imagine. But yeah, absolute pain in the arse. Don't really have anything else to say about it. Absolute pain in the arse and arm. Punny. Anyway, I'm just going to put this here because it feels really nice to rest it. Yeah, I've also bruised the bone in my elbow. Bruised my elbow, basically. And my hip. So, it's pretty nice. As you can imagine, it's going very well for me right now. However, it's quite funny though, because my sister has to like feed me and people have to make me tea, and I'm like, I can get used to this. So yeah, the only downside obviously is not being able to play the guitar, which is really upsetting. But I just thought I'd let you all know, so you know if I don't do anything, it's because of this bad boy right here. But I'll still talk to you all. Keep you company. You can keep me company whilst I die of boredom. So yeah, I've also got a cold, if you haven't already been able to tell. But yeah, just thought I'd let you know. Hope you enjoyed the story. That's about it really. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!